So we tested up to journal approvals in the last session. Now we'll see revaluation. So what does that mean by revaluation? If you are recording any foreign currency transactions in the payables or receivables, and if those transactions are belongs to current assets or current liabilities, definitely those are belongs to current assets and liabilities. If you record transactions in the payables liability, current liability, if you record in the transaction the receivables, that is current asset, accounts receivable is current asset. Such kind of transactions, if you transfer to GL, those we have to revalue it. It means you created invoice in the payables, you transfer to GL, that is not yet paid. You create a transaction in the receivables, you transfer to GL, you not yet received the payment from customer. Means unpaid invoice or unpaid transaction information, if you transfer to GL, we have to perform the revaluation. Means for foreign currency transactions, we have to do the revaluation for current assets and liabilities. For current assets and liabilities, we have to do the revaluation if that is foreign currency transaction. We'll take simple example and we'll discuss. Okay, so you created an invoice in the payables and you transfer to GL, and how that is treated. We'll see, like, say, you can take example directly from AP to GL or directly you can take in GL. Say for example, in 1st March 2024, you created one journal with, like you can say, you are creating in the foreign currency with 10,000 INR. Our functional currency is USD. If you take the conversion, okay, $1, okay, $1 equal to 80. Then what would be the amount? Okay, this is the rate. Okay. Now what would be the rate? If you just go to calculator here, you can take 10,000 and the rate is 80. So we have to pay $125. You have to pay $125. Now you are going to pay this month end. For example, you are going to pay this month end, 31st March, you are going to pay. Due date is this month end. But now this information is transferred to GL today. Today is 9th. I want to verify as on 1st March, our liability is $125. I want to check what is the liability today. I want to check what is the liability today. So today rate is 75. Now I'll check. 10,000 we have to pay, but by using the rate 75. $133.33 we have to pay. Let it be cents. Okay, now you can see, okay, directly you can see here just 125. Now we have to pay $8 extra. Compared to 1st March, our liability is $8 extra. That means that is a loss for us. How you can find loss? If you perform the revaluation. Today, if you perform the revaluation, you are revaluating your liability. As on 1st March, we have to pay $125, and as per today rate, we have to pay $133 and $8 loss. Okay, $8 loss. Is it real loss? No. You are not paying. If you pay today, that will become $8 loss. But you are going to pay 31st March. On 31st March rate is 75, then $8 will become loss. Now before you make the payment, you are just validating your liability, revalidating your liability, you are finding $8. So this $8 you call as unrealized loss. We not yet realized. When you realize, when you make the payment, you are going to make the payment on 31st. Before making the payment, if you are performing the revaluation, the variance, whatever you find between the day you record a transaction and the day you are performing the revaluation, that we call as unrealized. Okay, this you call as unrealized. Unrealized. Maybe like when you record the journal, or it could be invoice. Invoice based on invoice, you are creating journal. It may be, I mean, reverse. When you record 75 and today it is 80, this $8 will become gain for you. But that is unrealized gain. So once you make the payment in the payables, that would be realized gain or loss. Before you make the payment, if you are sending the journals information from AP to GL or AR to GL, in case of foreign currency transaction, we do the revaluation for accounts payable or account receivables, means current assets or current liability, to find out how much is the unrealized gain or loss. So this is what we have to understand related to revaluation. Now we'll go and create the transaction. You may create AP invoice with the same date 1st March and you can transfer to GL. Ultimately journal will come to GL, or else directly you can create the journal within the GL application. Okay, we'll take this use case and we'll go and create the journal. We'll set these rates. So first we'll set the rates with a today date and 1st March, then we can test this. So go to daily rates. Let's go to daily rates. Go to task called as daily rates. So check rate availability with first. Yes, rate availability is 80 as we discussed. Okay. Now check with the today's date. Make it 75. Save this rate. Done. Now create journal as we discussed. You may create AP invoice and you can transfer, or else directly you create in GL itself. Ultimately, the journal is required in foreign currency with a liability account. Go to journals. Create journal. Accounting period, Feb it is taking. Check the status. We have to open the period, right? Yeah. The current period status is open. Now go back to journal creation page. Task list. Create journal. The date is 1st March. You take anything as adjustment or expense. And we want to create journal in INR. So 1st March date is 80. So take the same example. We are creating journal with 10,000 rupees. And take the liability account. If it is already paid as per payables, we no need to do the revaluation. It is open invoice related journal. Take accounts payable account. Okay. Save, complete, and post. Then the approvals required. So we'll go and disable the approvals. In the last session, we tested approvals, right? So go and disable the approvals. Go to ledger options. Enable approval. Checkbox disable. Post it. So name we given as a J1. Ideally, we disable. It should not trigger approvals. Fine, that's okay. But ideally, just let's create one more journal. Again, it got struck. We'll see that later. J2. Anyway, that is not posted, so that won't impact. Date is first. Take any one of the category. Journal we are creating in the INR currency. Amount is 10,000 rupees. Save it, complete, and post it. Reporting ledger periods are not open. Open the periods and reporting. What about secondary ledger? Here. So when we have access to, okay, your primary ledger, this is a primary ledger. Against this primary ledger, we have a reporting ledger. So you can access the reporting ledger from here itself when you have access to primary ledger. Select, open the periods. So we have a reporting a secondary ledger also. The secondary ledger we have to open from the respective user. Alt INC SL. This is the name we given for respective user. We set the password. Now open current period in the reporting ledger, secondary ledger. So go to general accounting, period close. Open current period in the secondary ledger. Since we have reporting secondary, all periods should be open. Otherwise, we will not be in the position to post the journals in primary ledger itself. Yeah, that, fine. Now go to the same journal. Just cancel to close this page. Go to manage journals. Journal name is J2 we given. So find out, open this journal and submit for posting. Refresh. Status is posted. Okay. When this journal got posted, 1st March. As on 1st March, the liability is $125. Now, today we want to do the reconciliation. Okay, today we want to do the reconciliation. Okay, today we want to know what is our liability. Now, go to task pan and okay, we are in the journals. Go to period close task. Go to task list. We have a task called as revalue balances. Revalue balances. Click on revalue balances and click on plus icon to create the revaluation definition. Means for which account balances we want to do the revaluation, we have to set up. Click on plus icon. So we want to do the liability revaluation. You can do liability revaluation, or else if journal information is coming from AP, you do the accounts receivables related revaluation. APR or any liability or accounts receivable. Say Alt I and C revaluation, or you can write as a liability revaluation. Select our chart of accounts. Alt I and C. So you want to do the revaluation in which currency, that you can select. You want to do the revaluation in which currency, INR. If you are going to do the revaluation in multiple currencies, you don't need to select anything here. Okay. So here you can select. We are going to do the revaluation for the journals which are available in the foreign currency. That foreign currency name is INR. The rate type, we are going to use corporate. And here provide unrealized gain under loss accounts. If result is gain, it will take unrealized gain. If result is loss, it will become unrealized loss. So select those relevant accounts. Unrealized gain account we need. Okay. Here we have realized exchange rate gain account. You can pick this. Unrealized we don't have. Let's take this. Reality that is unrealized only. So pick this account. Say okay. Here take unrealized loss account. It should be unrealized loss. We don't have that account called as unrealized, so we are selecting realized only. Ideally, this realized we can use in the AP one. Whenever you make the payment, that system will realize. We can realize how much gain loss since you are making the payment. Before making the payment, it is unrealized only. Done. Now, here specify for which accounts you want to do the revaluation. Click on plus icon, click on filter, and select for which account you want to run the revaluation. With which account we created, we have journal with a foreign currency for that account. We have a foreign currency liability, right? For that, we have to run the revaluation. Say OK. Now, whenever system will create a revaluation, like a system will identify this variance, as we discussed here, $8. $8 it will identify as unrealized loss. With this $8, system will create revaluation journal entry. With this $8, okay, system creates revaluation journal entry. System creates revaluation journal entry with this $8. When system will create the revaluation journal entry, you want system to post it or you want to post it. If you enable post automatically, system will create revaluation journal entry and it will post automatically. If you don't enable, it will create and we have to post it. Okay, so we will post it. Say save and close. Save and post. So now select the same Alt INC revaluation. Click on generate. So this is our data access set. Our ledger set is Alt INC US primary ledger. So just now we created revaluation definition. We want to revalue which account related balances which are belongs to foreign currency. Select the same definition. Alt INC revaluation. This is the one we created just now. And accounting period, current period. So accounting date today. Rate, which rate system has to take. We have rate for today, right? The rate we taken as a 75. Even you can take the past rate also. Okay, maybe you can take fifth, sixth rate also. You can give the rate date as a fifth. On fifth, what is the rate available in the system? That rate it will take, and it will verify between the rates on first and whatever the date you are giving, and it will perform the revaluation and it will produce the results as how much is variance. The variance is gain or loss. Since you are not paying, just you are perform revaluation, that is treated as a unrealized gain or loss. So today rate date only we are taking for rate purpose. Rate is available with the today date. Now submit. Say OK. Cancel. Close this page. Now system will create the revaluation journal. So go to manage journals. Search with the current month. Here you can see system created revaluation journal. Okay, revalues for INR balances. So no difference in INR. INR, how much we have to pay, that much we have to pay. Like we have to pay 10,000 means you have to pay 10,000. To pay 10,000, how many dollars we have to use as per the fluctuation in the exchange rate, that would be different. Let's see that. Open this revaluation journal what system created just now. And if you scroll little down, okay, So in the INR, there is no difference. We have to pay 10,000 rupees. Yes, we have to pay always 10,000 rupees only. But to pay 10,000 rupees, we have to use dollars. So the variance you can see here, we discussed 8. The same you can see 8. Of course, there also we got that 33 cents, but we ignored. So 8 here you can see. So whether it's a gain or loss, you can see here. Okay. So this is going to be loss for us. Unrealized loss. Unrealized loss. Means if you pay today, it will become unrealized loss. Not at paid. That is the reason unrealized loss. So system is taking the loss account. That's what we discussed here. Now you can post it. And this what we have to do is when we move to the next period, we have to reverse this revaluation journal entry. If you don't reverse, say today is 9th, we submitted revaluation. $8 it is showing as unrealized loss. Again, I'll run tomorrow. Tomorrow rate also, it can be same for example. Tomorrow rate would be 75 rupees, $1 equal. Now again, if I run, again it will become 8. Already I have 8 and again 8, it will become 16. So that is the reason what we have to do is whenever you run the revaluation, the previous revaluation journal entries we have to reverse. Previous revaluation journal entries we have to reverse. Otherwise, it will become double or more than that. So that is the point. So we can use auto reversal concept to reverse the revaluation journals. Generally, what we do is when we are moving to the next period, we do the revaluation. The posting process detected an error, cumulative translation adjustment.
Lakshman, can you please repeat again why we have to reverse?
See now how much we have in the current period? 8, right?
Yes.
8 we have. Now again I'll run tomorrow. Again it may generate 8, right? Tomorrow also rate could be 75. So again it will become 100 loss. Total how much it will be? 8 and 8.
8 plus 8, 16. Yeah.
Yes. So reality, the variance is 8 only, right? Now the variance between this rate is on first 80, today 75. The variance should result as 8 only. So yesterday also you run the revaluation, you identified $8. Today you are running again maybe $8 or $9 you are identifying. So what you run the latest, that only you have to consider. Previous you have to ignore.
Okay, yeah.
So that is the reason revaluation journals you have to reverse.
So, but then what is the purpose that we are running it again and again? Why we are not running it on the day when we need to post it finally?
Day one? No, tell me what you mentioned. Day one we.
No, I'm saying like why then we are doing it again?
Yeah, to know the latest liability, current liability.
So, like usually what business does as a practice? Do they do it month end or do they keep doing it between the month also?
No, when in the month end, when they are closing before closing the periods, they'll run this. And whenever they move to next period, they will be reversing it.
Okay.
Yep. And again, they can run at any point of time also. If they are preparing the reports and all, they can run at any point of time. So ideally, this you can run in the month end.
So then do you have to like remember this that you have run it earlier and then you have to reverse it, or is it visible somewhere in the system when we are going to do it again?
No, we have to take care of that. It would be like when you search for evaluation journal in the system, it will display. So if you go, it will create with the category called as category and source would be revaluation. Okay, source is revaluation. Search. Here it is coming, right?
Yeah.
These all you have to source is revaluation, category also revaluation. This all we have to reverse. If you don't reverse, it will become double or more than that. It's very simple. You are going to run the revaluation today. If any revaluation journal entries are there before you run, all you have to reverse it. Very simple.
Okay. Okay.
Because with the latest current updates, you are going to find out what is your unrealized gain or loss. Right? So that is
Yeah.
the reason previous all you have to reverse. If you are running the revaluation today, make sure previous all you reverse, then you are running now. Now, as per the current rate fluctuations, you will be finding the unrealized gain or loss. So this is
So
what we
this,
have to understand.
so
Yeah.
let's say if we are running it on last day of the month, so then that unrealized gain or loss would be for the entire month, right?
Yes. Whatever the variance we have between that journal creation date and the last day of the month, that variance it will take and it will create the revaluation journal.
And then once we post it, and then again next month we run it. So then that is, we are not reversing this one, right? We are just
We
posting
have
it
to
like.
reverse. That's what I'm mentioning. That's what I'm mentioning. You have to reverse. You can reverse through manual process or you have to reverse automatically. Otherwise, the previous month and current month, that revaluation, the current month revaluation, this total will become double, right?
Oh, so for okay, okay.
You manually reverse or else you use auto reversal criteria, right? You can
Okay.
say every month first it has to be reversed.
Okay. Okay.
Create reversal criteria set, auto reversal criteria for the category called as revaluation.
Okay.
So this is a practice we follow. If you have any foreign currency invoices or transactions which are coming from payables and receivables, okay, we do this. If you make the payment in the payables, directly it will be realized gain or loss. Okay, we know no revaluation is required before making the payment. If any unpaid invoices and unpaid transaction related journals are available in the GL, we have to run this. That's all. So this is what we have to understand about revaluation. When we do the revaluation, only in case of foreign currency.
And is it possible to select a range of accounts instead of like in this
Yeah.
case?
Range of accounts. Since we have only one we selected, there you can select. I selected equal to. You select between.
Okay.
Yeah, we can select. Definitely we'll have a multiple accounts when you run this. Okay, for foreign currency we do, and for current assets and the current liabilities. Current liability means AP unpaid invoices. Current assets means AR unpaid transactions. So that's how. And another point is system creates revaluation journal entry, and when you are moving to the next period, reverse it. Okay, these are the points we have to understand from revaluation. Now, we'll take one example here to understand another point. Say you are operating the business in multiple countries. You are operating the business in multiple countries. Say USA, you are operating. Say USA is USA, or else let me take you are operating business in India. India is headquarters, and you have a subsidiaries in USA and UAE. Three countries you are operating the business. Okay, three countries you are operating the business. Now, so here in India, you will record the transactions in INR. You'll have a INR primary ledger. USA, you'll have USD primary ledger. And in UAE, you'll have AED primary ledger. Now, the business requirement is you want to prepare one report. which will represent three countries' business transaction data. So end of the year, you can generate the report within the US primary ledger, UAE primary ledger, and INR primary ledger. You can generate the reports within the respective primary ledgers. But I want to see the report which talks about three countries' business, that too in the single currency. Now, what we can do is, since you have headquarters in India, you can create one ledger called as consolidation ledger. You can create one ledger called as consolidation. You want to consolidate three countries' data in which currency? INR. Say, you can say consolidation ledger. This you are creating in INR. Okay. Within the India, you have a data in INR. This data directly you can send to consolidation ledger. From this primary ledger, you can transfer this data to consolidation ledger. This data is available in INR. You have a consolidation ledger in INR, you can send. Now in USA primary ledger, we have a data in the USD. Now you'll have all the balances, expense, assets, liabilities, assets, ownership, all the balances will have within the USD primary ledger. Now what we have to do is, these all balances would be available in USD. Now all these USD balances we have to convert. We have to convert to INR. We are talking about total balances. What are the different five type of account related balances we have in our primary ledger, USA primary ledger? Those balances we have to convert from USD to INR. These balances, okay, these balances we have to send to consolidation ledger. The same way in UAE primary ledger, the balances, all the transaction related balance would be available in AED. Now you have to convert. So AED balances you have to convert. You have to convert into INR. Now these INR balances you can send to our consolidation ledger. All the INR balances you can send to consolidation ledger. Now these three ledgers related data would be available in one ledger, that is a consolidation ledger. Means we are merging three ledgers data into one ledger. Now you will be able to prepare consolidated reports by using the consolidation ledger. So three ledgers data we are just pulling into one ledger in one currency, single currency. India ledger related data you have available in INR only, you are sending directly. Other countries' ledgers are maintained in the different currencies. Those you are converting, into required currency. Required currency is INR. You want to do the consolidation in INR, you are sending the data, and here you can prepare the consolidated reports. So if you want to do the consolidation is nothing but merging multiple ledgers data into one ledger. If you merge, data would be available in one ledger. Now you can prepare the reports. So multiple ledgers data is available in the single currency. You can prepare the consolidated reports. If you want to do the consolidation, what we are doing, we are performing one activity. The activity is we are converting our ledger balances into required currency. USD to INR, here AED to INR. So converting ledger balances into different currency, that we call as translation. That we call as translation. We call as translation. Okay. So converting ledger balances, I'm talking about balances. converting ledger balances into different currency, we call it translation. Why we have to do translation? If you want to merge any ledger data with consolidation ledger, first we have to translate from one to other currency, then we can send the data into consolidation ledger. Okay. Now we are going to talk about translation. Okay. When we have to do the translation, if you want to do the consolidation, consolidation process, translation is one of the activity. Okay. Converting balances from ledger currency to another currency, converting balances from ledger currency to another currency for the purpose of consolidation, that we are calling as a translation. Here we are talking about USA primary ledger. Here we have balances, but balances will be maintained in the different currency, different balances, whatever you have belongs to different accounts. What are those accounts? So we have accounts like assets, we have accounts like liabilities, expense, revenue, ownership or owner's equity. These are the five type of accounts we have. So as a part of translation, you have to convert all the balances into INR. When we are converting, so different type of accounts, what rates we have to use. For assets and liabilities, we use the period end rates, rate types. Okay, period end rate. Period end rate we use for assets and liabilities. Expense and revenues, we use period average rates. The period average rate we use for expense and revenues. And ownership accounts, we use historical rates. So what does it mean? Assets and liabilities. Okay. So today you have some asset value and liability value. For that, which rate we have to use? Period end rate. At this point of time, what is the rate available? That rate you have to use. For example, you have assets. So in the last month or current month, the rate was 75 and maybe 80 and 77. Now today is again 80. When we are converting asset and liability balances, at this point of time, what asset value you have and liability values we have, those will be converting with the period end rate. Now, end of the period, this is the rate we have. Okay. In the beginning of the period or mid of the period later, rate could be different, but end of the period. Now, end of the period says we are in the end of the month, the rate is 80. 80 only we have to follow. By using the rate as 80, we'll be converting all the assets and liabilities. If you take this example for expense and revenues, so you are spending some expense and you are generating the revenues by creating the receivables transactions and all. But how you have to convert all your expense balances and revenue balances into INR currency from USD. So because these expense and revenues are happened across the period, you have to take the average rate. Here, rate, this is how it fluctuated in the entire period, 75, 80, 77, again 80. Now you take the average for this. What is the average for this? 78. So 78 you have to take as a rate for expense and revenue to convert these balances from USD to INR. Historical rates company will give us, because historical rates ownership accounts means their retained earnings. So those may be like they might be carry forward for many years. So they will give the rate. The company will all, of course, these all rates also client only will give us. Just we are trying to understand what is the difference. So historical rates like related to ownership account related balances means retained earnings account related balances. So those balances may belongs to many years. maybe they might be carry forwarding that returned earnings for last 10 years. So they have to take the average for the all the years of rate between USD and INR. So they may take the rate as something maybe 60. That company will take the decision. That may they may take 65. Here on average rate they have to take that is say 78. And here end of the month what is the rate available, that rate they have to take. So this is how we have to take the rates. For assets and liabilities, we use the rate type called as period end rate. Expense and revenues, we use the rate type called as period average rate. Ownership accounts, we use the rate type called as historical rate. These all rates client will provide. Client will provide that as a consultant, we just input in the system with this respect to rate types. These are rate types. So let me write here separately. So you have to just for both same, you can identify these are the three. There are three type of rates. Okay, period end, average, historical. Average rates for expense and revenues, end rates for assets and liabilities, for ownership related accounts, historical rates, and this is how we have to define. Now, in the system also, we have to create the rate types. Period end, average, we have to create. Historical Oracle is providing. We have to create rate types. Then we have to set rates. Okay, we have to create the rate types in the system, and we have to set the rates also. Okay, create rate types and set the rates. Along with this, what are the other setups we have to do? First, we'll list out the setups, then we'll discuss and we'll do one by one. Okay, first we have to create the rate types and then set the rates. Then in ledger level, we have to provide one account. Say, set CTA account ledger. What system will do is, whenever you perform the translation, what are the variance we have between these three rates, the variance system has to balance with an account called a CTA account. Okay, system has to balance the variance with this CTA account, cumulative translation adjustment account. CTA stands for cumulative translation adjustment. We'll see that when you do the setup, you can see the name, the ledger options. Set CTA account at ledger. So between these three rate types, period end, average, historical rate, whenever you do the translation, the variance what we have, this rate variance system has to capture into CT account, cumulative translation adjustment account. That is in this account we have to provide at ledger level. Say ledger means ledger options, at ledger options. And we are going to do the translation between which currencies, USD to INR. Now we have a USA primary ledger. The balances we are going to convert into INR. Now INR you have to add as a translation currency for our USA primary ledger. You can take the point as add translation currency. Okay, you have to add the translation currency for our primary ledger. Primary ledger level, you have to add the translation currency. Then you can run the translation. Run translation. After running the translation, we have to, the balances will be translated from USD to INR. The same balances we have to transfer to consolidation ledger. First, we'll complete this, then we'll talk about consolidation, what additional setups we have to do so that we'll be able to transfer the translated balances from our primary ledger to consolidation ledger. First, we'll complete this step. After completing, in case of consolidation, what are the additional setups required apart from this performing the translation? We'll discuss and we'll create the consolidation ledger and we'll transfer the balances to consolidation ledger. Okay, we'll see that. So since we have a three type of rates, we have to make sure the rates are available. Before that, we have to create the rate types also. What are the rate types? Period end, average, historical. Historical we cannot create. Oracle is providing. These two you can create. From where we can create, how to create, we'll see. Let's create the rate types. So go to same task. We have a task called as daily rates. Navigate to the same task. So daily rates. To manage daily rates, go to tab called as rate types. Rate type. If rate type is available, you can use it. Here rate type is available. Period average, period end. Rate types are available. You can use this. Otherwise, with one click, you can create it. Click on this plus icon. You can give the names. Period end and another one is period average. Just give the names. That's all. Okay, that's how you can create. Now already available. Period average rate and period end rate we have. The same we need. Okay. Now we have to set the rates now. Go to daily rates. Click on create in spreadsheet. From this spreadsheet, you can set only these two rates, period end rate and average rate. Historical rates, we have a separate sheet. For historical, we have a separate tab and sheet. Now go to daily rates, click on create in spreadsheet. Open this spreadsheet, enable editing. Say connect. Fine. Connect to instance from this spreadsheet. Say skip. From and to currency, USD to INR. Rate type. Rate type, period average rate. And here, take the date. We are taking with the today's date. Here or else just you can take the, I'm taking today's date, conversion date as a today date. Say March 9th, 24. And same date. Today I'm going to perform the translation. I'm just giving the rate for today only. So for period average, what is the rate? For expense with account type called as expense and revenue, what are the transactions we have? For all the transaction related balances will be converted into INR balances by taking the rate as a 78. That is average rate for this fluctuation for the balances which are available, 78. Here set as a 78. Again, USD to INR. Take the rate type as period end rate. Date is same. So period end rate for asset related, assets and liability related balances, we have to convert by using the period end rates. End rate say client given 80. Historical we cannot create from here. Now we are creating only average and end rates. Now go to create daily rates and submit. Say okay. Two records successfully imported. One is end rate, other one is average rate. Now we have to set up historical rates. Okay, we have to set up historical rate. Go to tab called as historical rates. Select our primary ledger. Select our primary ledger and target currency, that is INR. Rate type select as historical, and you may select period also, but anyway in the spreadsheet you can select. Click on create in spreadsheet tab. Open it. Click on enable editing. Connect. Provide login credentials. Click on sign in. Now provide returned earnings account code combination. Okay, returned earnings account code combination. So double click. Select returned earnings account code combination. Say okay. And here select accounting period. Select current period March. And target currency is INR. Here value type select as rate and provide the rate. Rate what we discussed, say business given the rate as 65. Same spreadsheet. Now load this information into our instance. Create historical rates, upload.
What does this roll forward means?
Sorry?
This roll forward, next column after the rate.
Yeah, 1 second. Say okay. Say okay. Rates are loaded. So roll forward means here we are using the value type. Okay, value type as a rate we are using. If not rate, you have a amount. You have a amount. So if you are giving the rate, this rate you can use, say for example, you may give the amount. Directly amount also you can provide here. But ideally we use the rate only. So this rate you want to use later point of time also, you can just set as a roll forward and you'll be able to use it. Otherwise you can set to no, like the rate cannot be used the further, like whenever you are going to perform this returned earnings account related translation for this balances. So that's how just this definition, whatever you are defining, if it is a rate and all, this can be reused in the later point of time also.
But aren't we going to do the same thing like loading of this historical rate for that specific date whenever we perform this again? So why do we need to roll this forward then?
No, you can just see whatever the rate you have, like if you want to reuse again, and you can run this translation and this rate would be available. If you are not setting this, so this would be available just only one time for utilization in the system environment. Okay. This record you can reuse multiple times in that case. Otherwise, it would be useful in only one definition. One time translation it can be useful. That's how it would be useful. Yeah.
So this historical rates is for only period wise, right? Not daily wise, right, Lakshman?
Historical rates, it's only for returned earnings.
Okay.
Okay, only it will be applicable for returned earnings account balances. Means for which account type is returned earnings, ownership equity. So there only this rate is applicable. System will understand for which account type, what type of account is selected.
Yeah, that is fine, but we creating a whole period is only one rate. That's it, right? For the March period.
Yeah, what we are doing is when you are performing this translation, at that point of time, this rate is required. You no need to create for previous. As on today, whatever the information you have with those accounts, all those accounts, that will be converted. You no need to create for previous periods.
Okay.
When you are performing this activity, that point of time, you have to make sure the rate should be available. That's all.
Okay, got it.
Yeah. Fine. So that's how we have to define these rates. After creating these rates, so we have to set cumulative translation adjustment account. We have seen rate. If you want to create, you can create. Since it is available in the system, we didn't create. Even if you want to create, you can create only period end and period average rates. These two rates only you can create. And we have set the rate. So these are the rates we define for those three type of rates. And now we have to set the CT account, cumulative translation adjustment. So now go to ledger options. Go to ledger options. And here find an account called as cumulative translation adjustment account. If you are performing the translation, it is a mandatory account. So provide the account. Search for cumulative. Okay, cumulative translation adjustment account. Say okay. And we have a rate types. Those we can assign at ledger level, but not mandatory. The next stage also you can select. If you assign at ledger level, it will be defaulted. So default period end rate type, default period average rate type. Select period end rate. With this rate type only, we have a rate available. Average rate, period average rate. So save and close. And now add translation currency. You want to translate the balances from our primary ledger to which currency? INR. So now go to our USA primary ledger to add the translation currency. To add the translation currency, we use the same task. Whatever the task we used to create the reporting ledger, same task we have to use. Let's see. Here search for the task called as reporting currency. Here is the reporting currency task. Manage reporting currencies. So we are going to perform the translation from this primary ledger. What are the balances we have in this Alt IN's US primary ledger? Those balances we are going to translate. So click on Manage Reporting Currencies. Okay, already you have reporting ledger, that's a different thing. Now we are going to create so translation purpose INR as a reporting currency. Click on plus icon. Here I am giving the name as Alt INC INR translation. Okay, Alt INC INR translation. I can call it as a ledger. It won't become a ledger, but it is system will treat like that. Okay, let it be like Alt INC INR translation. So we did the kind of we created reporting ledger. In the reporting ledger, we selected currency conversion level as journal. Means each and every journal need to be reported from our primary to reporting ledger. But in case of translation, we have to translate the balances. So make sure currency conversion level is balanced. And currency we are going to translate into INR. Okay, INR. And automatically system is defaulting these two rate types from our ledger. Okay, that you can accept. Say save and close. Now we have a two reporting here. One is journal. This is for reporting directly. Whatever the journal you create in the primary ledger, that will be reported to reporting ledger. This is just to transfer the balances, translated balances to transfer to consolidation ledger. We are creating this. So make sure that you are adding report translation currency as a reporting currency by selecting currency conversion level as a balance, because we are going to report balances from our primary ledger to consolidation ledger. Done. So these are the setups we have to complete. Now we'll go and run the translation. Go to task called as period close. Go to period close task pan. Here is the task. Translate balances. Okay, translate balances. Click on this task. And here select the accounting period, which period just you are going to perform, like we are going to perform in the March month. And if you want to do it for a specific period, okay, if you want to do it for a specific period, you have to select, if you want to do it for specific balance and segment value, you can select. If you don't select with all these balance and segment values, what are the transactions we have, for all the transactions, this translation will take place. If you want to limit this translation only for this company related data, yes, you can select. You can keep it blank. Okay, if you want to select specific, you may select. Now, what it will do, here you can see the message. Okay, so it will translate the balances. Okay, so what are the like balances we have within this period related to expense, revenue, assets, liabilities, all whatever we have in this ledger, those will be translated into the reporting currency what we given here. Reporting currency we given INR with a conversion level as a balances. So system will convert. Just click on submit and say okay. Now it will translate. Now to get those balances into consolidation ledger, you have to create the consolidation ledger, and you have to just do the movement from this ledger to this ledger. Now we submitted for conversion. Okay, those will be converted. How to transfer, so that we can see in the consolidation ledger as it is, whatever translated here. For that, we have to do few additional setups. Okay, we have to create one more ledger called as consolidation ledger, and we have to create the mapping between these ledgers, and then we'll be able to transfer the information from our subsidiary. Like USA ledger, you can call as subsidiary here. In terms of consolidation, so if you call this ledger as a consolidation, so USA ledger, India ledger, UAE ledger, you can call as subsidiary ledgers, or else you can call this ledger as a parent ledger. When you call this ledger as a parent, these ledgers we call as child ledgers. Okay, parent, and these are the childs. From all the childs, balances will be transferred to parent. Or else, if you want to call it as consolidation ledger, call these ledgers as a subsidiary ledgers. Now, when one of our subsidiary ledger balances are available, which are translated, now we want to transfer those balances into consolidation ledger. So first we have to create the consolidation ledger. Let's create consolidation ledger. Let me take the title as consolidation. So what
Lakshmi, I
we
have a
require?
doubt here.
Yeah.
We are already created the reporting ledger, and we all our USD journals are creating in the INR, right? Already we have
Correct.
INR journals, and we are posted those. We have already
Correct,
uh,
correct. The point,
valid.
no, I
Yeah.
got it. Point is very much valid. Yes, if you want to transfer those balances from your reporting ledger to consolidation ledger, yes, that also you can do. Okay.
Okay.
In that
Okay.
case, make sure that you have reporting ledger for all your subsidiaries.
Okay. Got it now. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good to
Yes,
hear.
yes, yes. Those are very accurate. Like now, since we are doing the end of the period, we are using these rate types. Now, if you want to transfer from your reporting ledger to consolidation ledger, you no need to do translation.
Yes, correct. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
how it works. Fine. So now let's create consolidation ledger so that the balances, translated balances, you can transfer to consolidation ledger. Say create consolidation ledger. So consolidation ledger you create as another primary ledger. That's all. We'll see that. When you create consolidation ledger, you have to set ledger options and complete the consolidation ledger definition. Right? We'll have a task called as review and submit accounting configuration. Complete consolidation ledger. And which user need access to consolidation ledger? Create that user. So create user. So Alt I and C consolidation. Just I'm adding C for consolidation. And assign any one of the roles to this user to access GL application. Assign GL roles. After assigning the GL roles, for these roles, we have to give the access to consolidation ledger. That you can take as assign consolidation ledger to user roles. Fine. Now, we have to do the chart of accounts mapping between these two ledgers. Here is the subsidiary, USA primary ledger, and we are going to have a consolidation ledger. These two ledgers related chart of accounts can be same or different. It could be same or different, but still you have to do the mapping. It is mandatory. Both chart of accounts may be same. Still you have to create the mapping. Take the note, create COA mapping between subsidiary. Here subsidiary means USA primary ledger and consolidation ledger. Okay. Create COA mapping between subsidiary and consolidation ledger related chart of accounts. So finally, we have to open the periods in the consolidation ledger. Open periods in consolidation ledger. So after opening the periods, what we have to do is we can transfer the translated balances which are available with this with our subsidiary ledger. These balances will be available under title called as a translation. We'll see that. Okay. So the point you can take, okay, once you open the periods, now what are the translated balances we have, which are translated based on your subsidiary ledger, those need to be transferred to your consolidation ledger. You can say these are the setups, process point of view, transfer balances from subsidiary to consolidation ledger. Which balances? Translated balances. Okay, we submit a translation, the balances will be translated. Those we are going to transfer here. After performing this activity, you can review the same from the consolidation ledger. Okay, say review translated balances in consolidation ledger. First, we'll go and create the consolidation ledger. So same as it is, how we create our primary ledger, same process we have to follow. Setup and maintenance. Just search for primary ledger task. So manage primary ledgers. Name it as consolidation ledger. Alt INC, say INR consolidation ledger. The consolidation ledger chart of accounts can be different from your subsidiary ledger chart of accounts. It could be anything. And select calendar. And consolidation ledger we are going to maintain in INR currency. We are going to maintain in INR currency. Select.
The
So
chart of
accounting method and all not mandatory since we are going to use within the GL only. Yeah, please.
chart of account, you have selected ARTINC. Is it okay?
Okay. Yeah, it can be different also.
Can be different.
So fine, we'll select ours only. Alt INC, yes. It can be different also. That is also fine. We will be able to do the mapping. Say save and close. Done. Now set the ledger options. Specify ledger options. Click on the selected scope. Whatever the ledger is there, we have to switch to our ledger. Click on the ledger name. Our ledger name is consolidation ledger. So Alt INC, INR consolidation ledger, select and say save and close. And set returned earnings account. So say okay. Now, so when you talk about consolidation ledger, we'll be transferring the different balances from the different subsidiaries. So what you can do is enable suspense account for this ledger. If any minute variances because of all foreign currency related translations we are doing, when we are transferring the data to this ledger, because of minute variance within the conversion rates, etc., if anything is not going to be balanced debit with the credit, that system will hit to suspense account so that the process would be smooth. Ideally, there won't be any variance, but still it is recommended you can set suspense account at your consolidation ledger. Enable suspense for general ledger and provide suspense account. When we are transferring the data from another ledger to this ledger, if anywhere anything is minute debit is not equal to credit with maybe few cents or dollars with small amounts, that can be balanced with this account. The variance system will post into this suspense account. So for that reason, it is recommended to maintain the suspense account. There may not be variances, but still you just maintain this account so that the process will become smooth. So add suspense account here. Suspense and say OK. Select account code combination. Say OK. So we provided return earnings account and also we provided suspense account. If any data is coming into this consolidation ledger, okay, if okay, I think it's not taking more than this characters for name. So if any data is coming, any records are coming into this, if any minute variances that can be captured into that account, that's how the every transaction will get balanced. Just save and close. Ideally, everything would be coming fine, but if just that is recommended to set, if required, system will use. By default, may not be required. Done. We created consolidation ledger and we specified ledger options. Now complete consolidation ledger definition. So go to task called as review and submit accounting configuration. Right. Search for task called as review and submit accounting configuration. Within the scope, we have our consolidation ledger only. Just click on the same task and submit. Say OK. It will take some time and it will turn the status into confirmed. Now create user. So let's create user. Which user is going to get access to this consolidation ledger? So go to security console, users. The username is alt inc consolidation user. And assign the GL roles. Say general accounting manager. Select, assign, click on done. This one role is enough. You will be able to access to GL application related most of the functionalities. Set password. So save and close. Now, so we created a user, we assign GL roles. Now assign consolidation ledger to this user roles. Go to task called as data access for users. The task name is data access for users. So manage data access for users is the task. Create. Username is alt inc c. Only we assign one role. Select and security contest. Data access set and the security contest value our consolidation ledger. Alt INC, INR consolidation ledger. Now say save and close. Done. Run LDAP for synchronization. Done. Now we'll go to open the periods in the consolidation ledger. Now go to general accounting. Go to period close task. Open the periods in consolidation ledger. Now open the target period. Okay, period status is open. Now, so from subsidiary, we have to transfer those balances to consolidation ledger. Oh, sorry, here we have a few more like mapping. You also have to complete, then we can do that. So we create and we assign, we open the periods and complete the mapping between these two ledger related chart of accounts. So search for chart of accounts mapping. Manage chart of accounts mappings. Just click on create. From here only we created mapping between our primary ledger and secondary ledger. Now we are going to do the mapping, chart of accounts mapping between our primary. Now primary we are calling as subsidiary. Okay, subsidiary and consolidation ledger. Here you can take the same name, Alt INC, US subsidiary and India consolidation COA mapping. Target chart of accounts, nothing but your consolidation ledger chart of accounts. Alt INC. And source is nothing but subsidiary. Okay, source is nothing but subsidiary. That also Alt INC only. Now create mapping between these segments. Company, say copy value from source. Just map company with the company. And the department, or say cost center with the cost center. Account with account. And just if you don't want to map certain things, say for example, in your target chart of account, you have only these three segments. Yes, in your source, you may have multiple, but map only those three. Not mandatory, everything should be mapped. So just you map and scroll little down. We have two more segments. Future 1 to future 1. And 2 to 2. So create this mapping between the segments between your two chart of accounts which are belongs to your subsidiary and the consolidation. Then just click on that. So we created mapping. Now, we open the periods, done. Everything's done. Now we are going to transfer the balances. Okay, we are going to transfer the balances. So to
Lakshman, in case of AEDPL also, we have to map, right? Again, separately.
what is that?
If we have a separate AED primary ledger, for that also we need to create
Correct,
mapping.
correct. Yeah. See here, whatever here also the same is applicable.
But
Okay.
India, in this case of India primary ledger, no need, right? We have already our balances in INR.
Correct. But directly you can just perform the translation. See, take example. If these three ledgers are using the same chart of accounts, one time mapping is enough. If this is different, then you have to do the mapping.
Okay,
Yeah.
got it.
So we are mapping. So there we are not writing any name, right? Just we are giving
Yes.
target and source.
Yes,
It
correct.
can
Yeah.
be any. Target
Mm.
is only one. Yeah. If three
Got it.
different primary ledgers, three different chart of accounts, again for primary, this also you have to do the map. When you are transferring, that is required.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Yeah. Fine. Now go to ESS job page. Tools, scheduled processes. Click on schedule new process. Just search with the term called as transfer. You will find the balance transfer program. So this is the job name. Transfer ledger balances. Okay, transfer ledger balances. Say okay. So it transfers balances from one ledger to another ledger. Say okay. Now, what is our source ledger? Source ledger.
USD.
US.
Yeah. But here it doesn't work like EBS. In EBS, yes, you can do the same, it will work. Here it doesn't work in that way. So if I select Alt INC, US primary ledger, if I try to find what is our target ledger,
India.
consolidation ledger, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
Now you don't see consolidation ledger. In EBS, it works like that. In Fusion, they changed. So now the balances are not lying under this ledger, right? For this Alt INC US primary ledger, we created a translation. Under translation title, that balances would be available. So now what we have to do here is source ledger, instead of selecting this, for this, what are the translation name you given? That name you have to select. Then only you can see consolidation ledger here. So what name we given for translation for this US primary ledger? Alt INC INR translation, right? That is the name we given. This name we have to select. The translated balances will be holded by this title. This we created against this. Now this you have to select. That this is the difference if you compare with EBS here in terms of selection and all. Then EBS directly you can select US primary ledger, then you can select your consolidation, you can transfer. But here under this, what are the translation definition is available, that you have to select. Alt INC INR translation. This refers your US primary ledger only. US primary ledger data you translate into INR. That's all. Now you will be able to select consolidation ledger. Now you can see Alt INC consolidation ledger. Now mapping is mandatory. Select mapping. So amount type, like you can select the specific period or quarter and year, like which balances you want to transfer, you can select. So the entire year related balances you can select at YTD, and only specific period related PTD, QTD, quarter related balances you can select. So how like period balances are quarter or year, you can specify here. And source ledger period, say March. And target ledger period also March. And yes, system will import the journals and it has to create the summary journals. It should run the auto posting also. This all should be applicable for a specific balance on segment value means select, otherwise leave it blank, it will run for all. Now just say submit. Say okay. Refresh. Now it is importing journals into our consolidation ledger. Now system triggered import journals means the action is being performed. And we have set to post also. There is posting. Now switch to your consolidation ledger and you can see the data which is transferred from your primary ledger related, I mean subsidiary ledger translated balances to consolidation ledger. So here we have a consolidation ledger access, the different browser. Now go to general accounting journals. Go to task pan to manage journals. Now click on search. The total balances are converted into INR. Whatever the balances we have in our US primary ledger, those all got translated. Those translated balances now get transferred. So this is how these all got translated and we transferred. So now the balances is in INR. Okay. So this is how just you can perform the consolidation. So between subsidiaries and the consolidation ledger. Fine. These three will perform in the sequence only, reality. First, we do the revaluation so that the balances will be revaluated and we will identify at this point of time what is your unrealized gain or loss. After revaluation, if you have a foreign currency transaction, first you perform revaluation, then you translate, then you consolidate. That is a sequence. These three will do in the sequence only. That is the reason even we selected in the same sequence for our discussions. So we're done with the revaluation.
So Lakshman, one question here.
Yeah,
So whatever
translation,
steps that
consolidation.
we have
Yeah, please.
done, so whatever steps we have done to get the balances from US to consolidation ledger, so we're going to do the same
As
from
it
the
is.
AED to this consolidation again.
Yeah.
So once we have done that, the other part, so how it will be visible in the consolidation? Will it be showing the source separately that this
No,
has
no,
come
no,
from
no.
this, or
You
will
can
it be
see.
showing the final
No,
figure?
no, everything it will be showing the balances, whatever you have as per your subsidiary ledgers with the same accounts data it will come. Okay. So with the same accounts data is coming and it will just summarize. There you have a number of transactions, right? A number of journals. But here, with each account, how much balances we have, those you can see. You have this, you just click on these figures and all like it's summarized with this account. These all are the balances with this account.
Okay, so the value of this account will increase.
Yes.
Whatever will come from there, that will also be added up.
Correct, correct, correct.
Okay.
So these are the translated balances. Yeah.
Okay.
These are the currency USD. And earlier whatever we have seen, those are translated. You see like these are coming from US primary ledger. So why it is not showing that transaction? Because there we are not getting directly, they are translated. That's how it got disconnected, drilled down. Okay, only up to which level these balances translated, up to this only you can get it. So those are translated to this. these balances translated. Before that, these are INR related. Okay, now INR. What about USD balances? If you click on this, okay, these are the USD balances,
Okay.
currency USD. And these got directly translated. That is the reason you cannot drill down to source transactions. So that's how you can see here.
So then if we are, let's say we have done for AD also, and we are looking into this account, so it will show one final figure for INR. And then if we drill down, then will it show the separate for both USD and AED?
Yeah,
Or
it
like,
will be, if you
okay.
drill down, it will be showing separately, but
Okay.
everything will be in this consolidation ledger only. Drill down point of it will show. Okay, but
Okay.
all are in the same only. Even if you are sending from UAE, it will come into this ledger only.
Yeah, that I got. Okay.
Okay, but when you drill down to understand from where it is coming, system will show the information. That's all. But will be in the same.
Okay.
Yeah. Fine. Okay. So let's pick the topic called as FRS, Financial Reporting Studio.
Lakshman, before that, can I ask you a question?
Yeah, please.
Yeah, in the last class, when we are doing the create control budget, there were additional two more natural account types, budgetary credit and budgetary debit.
Yeah, I typically we don't use those. I just never seen like those are the actual account types only we use. Because we
There
can
was a
classify the
first time
accounts.
yeah.
No, we can classify the accounts with the natural account types only, right? Expense, revenue, assets, liabilities, etc. So it could be some exceptional case where somewhere it could be useful.
Okay, this is the first time I'm seeing that, so I asked.
No, those were there in EBS also.
Oh, in EBS.
Yeah,
Okay.
EBS also we have. If you go to account type, okay.
I see.
Yeah, there also they give it. There also they give. Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. Generally, we don't use. That is the reason there won't be any focus on those. When you use, definitely we should come across. So,
Okay, all right. Thank you.
just like that. Yeah. Fine. Okay. So, Financial Reporting Studio. So, as we discussed, Oracle acquired many products. Along with that, one of the product is Hyperion. Okay, Hyperion. Hyperion product. So in the Hyperion product, we have like FRS. We call as Hyperion Financial Reporting, HFR. That HFR, they give it in the fusion as FRS. Okay, HFR stands for Hyperion Financial Reporting. Many products we have in the Hyperion, we have HFR, we have HFM for mapping purpose with any third-party applications. This HFR, they introduced in the fusion as Financial Reporting Studio. If you want to prepare the reports by using this FRS, the data should be available in the space. And already we discussed between Oracle database and Sbase database, there is a inbuilt integration Oracle built by using HFM. Hyperion Financial Management. By using this HFM, Oracle built inbuilt integration between Oracle and Sbase databases. So whenever you post the transactions here within the Oracle database, whenever you post the journal, the posted journal information will go to Sbase. Okay, in the form of balances. Okay, the posted, if you post the journal, that information will be populated in the Sbase database in the form of balances. Journal information won't be transferred to Sbase By default, only balances will go with respect to the account code combinations, the different dimensions. Now, what we have to do is, if you want to create the reports, first we have to create the connection with SBase. We have to create the connection with SBase, then you can pull the data from SBase and you can generate the reports by using FRS, Financial Reporting Studio. Okay. So no add-ons. Earlier, what Oracle used to do is we have to download the FRS like into your client environment. Later, they just completely converted to web-based report development studio. So now, web-based studio we are going to use. The download option just now Oracle completely stopped. Directly you can web itself, you can create these reports. Earlier you have to download and you have to, there will be separate framework and you have to connect and you will be able to create. So your instance is one and the additional client level, there will be separate graphical user interface. Later Oracle changed, now everything is within the web only. So what we have to do to create the reports by using FRS, first we have to create the database connection. After creating the database connection, and we can generate the reports. Let's see that. So we'll go to the instance and we'll discuss. I'm going to use a different environment because whatever the instance we are using within our primary ledger, we don't have any kind of too much of data, right? We create a transaction with limited data. When you generate the reports, so many accounts will not fetch the balances. For that reason, I'm going to use Oracle provided username as a fin_impl. This user you can find in all the instances. This Oracle provided sample user. With this user, you can use specific business unit and the primary ledger. That we will discuss. I'm going to use this fin_impl user. This is Oracle predefined user only in the test environments. Connect to the instance. You can use the primary ledger as a US primary ledger. You can use the business unit as a US1 business unit or US business unit. That's how they are giving us if you sample with the data also. Okay. Now, anyway, when we talk about this FRS, we don't touch any business unit, completely GL related data. Means we should know the primary ledger name. US primary ledger you can use. Within that, there will be a lot of sample data so that it would be easy for us to understand how to generate this report. Now, so to connect to FRS web environment, go to navigator and go to here others. And others, there will be task called as financial reporting center. In some instances, it will display under general accounting also. Okay. If you don't find under general accounting, just always you can go to others. Under others, financial reporting center. Okay, this will be added because of your GL roles. Okay, when we assign the GL roles to the user, you will get access to Financial Reporting Center. Click on Financial Reporting Center. From Financial Reporting Center, you can navigate to Financial Reporting Studio. Go to Navigator, Financial Reporting Center, click on this task. Go to Task Pane and click on Open Workspace for Financial Reports. So click on Open Workspace for Financial Report. It takes some time. We have to wait here. Again, browser level, you see any blockings and all? No. Okay, here it's a block. Say always allow. Click on done. Okay, refresh this page. So loading. Fine. Now, so this is, you can see enterprise performance management, EPM. Okay, so this is the EPM environment. Now go to tools. Go to tools, and here is the task called as launch financial reporting web studio. Okay, financial reporting web studio. You have to select this. Yes. From here we can prepare the reports. Let's repeat the navigation again. So go to navigator. Under others, you have a task called as Financial Reporting Center. Click on this task. And go to task pan. Click on Open Workspace for Financial Report. Now go to Tools. And here we have a task called as Launch Financial Reporting Web Studio. Select. Now see the title, Hyperion Financial Reporting Web Studio. Hyperion Financial Reporting Web Studio. This you expand it. Expand. Now, here, this is the space, workspace where you can create the reports. If you want to create any reports in this workspace, first you have to insert the grid and you have to create the connection. Let's see that. Go to File. Okay, go to File. Select New. What we want to create? We want to create the report. Select Report. If you want to create the report, we want to fetch the data from where? From which database we want to fetch? That S-base connection we have to establish. We selected here. This is the workspace. Yes, I can create the reports. But from where I have to pull the data? For that, we have to create the database connection. To create the database connection, here we have Insert. One of the menu option called as Insert. Click on Insert and select here Grid. Okay, select Grid. The grid can establish the connection with the database. So select grid and here drag. Just drag and leave it. Just drag and leave it. Now here we have to create the S-base connection, S-base database connection. To create the new connection, you click on New Connection. Click on New Connection. So give the name. Let's give the name as Alt-INC. Type is S-base, server is S-base, FA cluster. FA means Fusion Application Cluster, which Oracle built connection between Fusion applications and do a space. Here application is nothing but our chart of accounts name. Select our chart of accounts. Click on this application icon. And let's use Oracle provided chart of accounts. There will be good amount of sample data. So these are all Oracle provided only in the sample chart of accounts, UAE chart of accounts, so UK and different chart of multiple chart of accounts Oracle is providing. Now for our testing purpose, look for US chart of accounts. Here is the US chart of accounts. So expand it. We can use our chart of accounts also, but we have very limited data. We record a transaction with the limited accounts. So US chart of accounts and click on DB. Select DB. Database. Say OK. Done. Now click on OK. Click on OK. Say OK. Now this is our connection name. Database source. Database connection name is Alt INC. Say OK. Now, on what base you can create the reports in FRS? Those you see as a point of use, or you can call as dimensions. Accounting period, it will take from our calendar. Ledger, our primary ledger name, and company. This is one of the segment in the chart of accounts as a part of US chart of accounts. The US chart of account, company, list, line of business, account, cost center, product, intercompany. These are the different segments. These are the different segments. And other default dimensions are point of use in SBase is scenario, balance amount, amount type. Currency is again straightforward, like as a part of our primary ledger or all the currencies what you available you are able to see, and currency type. So these are the different point of use, or you can call as dimensions. Based on these you can generate the report. Now to create the report you have to select row and column. I want to select account to be displayed as a through rows, and period I'll select as a column. So here account dimension we have. You can call it as a dimension or point of view. As per SBase, this we call as dimensions or call it as point of view. Now select account and drag and drop in the row box. Just hold, drag and drop, it will come. Okay, wait for a second. Okay, again try to do the same. You just hold this icon, not the name, just directly place the cursor on the icon, hold it, drag and drop. Now in the report, in the rows, we will be displaying all the accounts. And the column should display what? Period. Here we have accounting period. Okay. Select, drag and drop. Done. Page you can use for filter. And again, when you generate the report, along with the account and period, you have to provide the data to all these point of views. This will be useful for filter, and this will be part of your report. You can add multiple rows, multiple columns also. So this is how you have to select the point of use. Now say OK. Say OK. Now whatever the point of use you select as rows, it is showing here account and the column You selected accounting period. Remaining all point of views we have here as a list. Okay. Here we have as a list. Done. First we will select the point of views or dimension values for these columns. Then we will come to these accounts under accounting period. First select ledger. You want to generate the reports for which ledger. Here you can select ledger or ledger set also. Click on the dimension called as ledger. Now you can see all the ledgers which are available with the US chart of accounts, because here database connection we established with US chart of accounts. The database connection we established with US chart of accounts. With that US chart of accounts, whatever the data is available, you can see. Whatever the ledgers are available, you can see. Okay, we selected database connection as US chart of accounts. With the US chart of accounts, how many ledgers are available within this instance, you can see. Expand ledger section. And here you can see ledger sets we have and all ledgers. If you expand all ledgers, so these many ledgers are created with the same chart of accounts, US chart of accounts. So you have a ledgers like multiple countries, means global chart of accounts, that is. So India, Japan, Germany, France, China, Belgium, US. Now we are going to use US primary ledger. Select US primary ledger. If you want to select ledger set also, you can select ledger set. So US primary ledger, say OK. Now we want to create the report, the data which is available within this primary ledger only. Again, what is the further filtration? Here you can specify. Click on company dimension. Click on company dimension. Expand. And expand. Now, you want to generate the report for which company? If you want to generate the report for all these companies, yes, you select all company values. If you want to generate for specific, select the same. I am selecting this company, 101 company. So one of the balancing segment value. Select and say OK. Right. Now select LOB, line of business. This is another segment as per US chart of accounts. Click on line of business. Expand. Expand. So here we have multiple line of businesses. If you want to generate report for all the line of businesses are specific, that you can select. How we require, you can select. You may select only one or you may select all. I'm selecting only one, or else you can select all. Say OK. Okay. So only one company, but all line of business values. That's how we want to filter the report. Cost center. Another segment. Click on the dimension. Expand. I want to generate the reports across all the cost centers. I'm selecting all cost centers and say OK. And product. Click on product dimension. So this report should be produced for which product? Specific means you can expand it and select the product name, or you can say all products, all product values and say okay. We are selecting for all product values. The report need to be generated for only one company. Company we selected only one. 101. These all are filters. So the next dimension, just click on this. Ideally in the reports, we no need to get any this intercompany related values. You will just expand it. Always select as none. Now next dimension. Scenario. Click on scenario dimension. This is from space. This we don't see in our application directly. So what is the scenario? You are going to see which balances, actual balances or budget balances, etc. Select actual. Whatever the transaction we created, those all are actual. Select actual. You can select budget also so that it will display the budget related balance only, what are the budgets we create. Now, scenario is actual. Balance amount. Okay, balance amount. Click on this dimension and expand it. So whether you want to see specific period related beginning balances or ending balances, or within that period, what are the activities are performed, those. Ideally, you can select ending balances. That means the beginning balances plus the activities which are happened in that period. By end of the period, whatever you have, you can see. Or else, if you want to see exactly what are the transactions are recorded in that period, then you can select period activity. Okay, anything you can select. Maybe you can select end balances or the period activity. Within that period, when you generate the report, you select the period. Within the period, what are the transactions are created? Only you want to see those balances. If you say beginning, the previous period ending balances will become beginning balances for current period, that you will be able to see. If you select ending, the beginning plus the activities, whatever you performed, everything you can see. Let's say anything you can see, ending balance or activity balances. I'm selecting period activity. Say okay. Scroll little right. Okay. Period activity we selected. Now amount type. Click on amount type. So amount type means you are going to generate the report for specific period wise or quarter wise or year wise or any means base. You can select. I want to prepare report, periodic reports. I want to select specific period, it has to generate the report. If you select QTD, you can generate quarter as well as period. If you select YTD, you can generate YTD. Within the YTD only, you will have a quarters and periods. YTD means year to date. You can see here, year to date, quarter to date, period to date. What is your plan? How you want to produce the reports? Period wise. So select PTD. If you select base, it will support all. Select PTD. Scroll little right. Okay. And currency. Click on currency. And you are going to generate the report in which currency. Expand. Select our ledger currency. So ledger is a chart of accounts, and the primary ledger what we are using is US. So you want to see the balances in US only. USD. So here you can filter up to 250. You can see USD, or else you can search also. Here is the USD value. Say okay. Okay. Now, currency type. Click on currency type. Expand. And so total means it could be like you may enter the transaction foreign currency also. It will fetch everything. Enter means you are entering the transactions in which currency. In that currency, it will display the balances. Converted means from your ledger currency, the balances are converted to which currency that you can see. Let's choose. We want to see the reports as per the report. The data is available with which currency as entered currency. You record a transaction which currency, the accordingly you want to see. Those balances are converted into which currency. We are not selecting. Just if you select it, converted you can see. Select as entered. So the transactions are entered in which currency. Accordingly, you want to see the report. Say okay. So these are the filters. Okay, these are the dimensions you can say, or you can say these are the point of views. Point of views, dimensions, or filter. Now this all we selected. Now what about account and period? Which account balances we want to see, as well as which period related balances we want to see. That we have to select. Now click on this cell.
Yeah.
Please go on mute.
Yes.
Please. Okay, here is the account. You just place the cursor on this account cell and click. Just click on it. Click on account cell. The moment you click on account cell, the tab will be enabled here. Account tab is enabled. If I place the cursor and click on accounting period, that tab will get enabled here. I'm selecting account. Only that cell. No need to select entire record. Select. Now click on account tab. Just click on account tab. Click on account tab. If you notice here, by default, one values is selected, default. That you have to remove. Okay, that we have to, this is dummy value, just placeholder. You just select, remove. Okay, select and remove. Now you have to select the real accounts, which account related balances you want to see. So expand this account folder. Okay, expand. Now you can see all accounts here, all account values. Okay, here you can see all accounts as per US chart of accounts. If you want to select one by one accounts, here you can select, but we don't want to select accounts. As per hierarchy, we want to select. You collapse it. Now go to that all corporate accounts V1, version 1, version 2. These versions can be created. In this environment, 2 version of accounts created. Let's go with the V1, version 1. You expand it. And you can see the grand parent related account. You expand it. And accounts, this is how classified. As per the chart of accounts, top level, you have this T total, under that assets, liabilities, owners equity, and net income current year means expense and revenues. Now just go to this net income related so that you'll have expense and revenue accounts. Expand. You have revenue accounts, you have expense accounts. Okay, revenue accounts and expense accounts. So I'm going to pull few expense accounts, expand expenses. Again, there are few parent accounts for expense. Material and goods expenses, operating expenses, okay, some construction related, okay. So extraordinaries and taxes, So these are the different parent accounts we have. Now I'm going to select these 3 parent accounts, or else I'll select these 2 parent accounts and select here. I want to display this in the report. I want to see the balances related to this. Now I selected 2. Okay, I selected 2. If I say okay, these 2 will be displayed in only one row within this report, but these 2 need to be displayed in the 2 separate rows. To display these 2 parent accounts in 2 separate rows, enable this checkbox. Place selections into separate rows. These 2 you are going to place in the 2 separate rows. Enable the checkbox. Now say okay. These 2 will be selected into 2 different rows. Say okay. Now you can see 2 rows. Okay, fine. And we'll select a period. Okay, select the accounting period cell. Click on accounting period. So click on accounting period. And here, remove the default value which is there as accounting period. There should be period name, not accounting period. You just remove this. This is the default. Now you want to produce the reports for those expenses for which period. That period we have to select. Expand. We are using which ledger? US primary ledger. As per US primary ledger, within the calendar, you have a periods for how many years? That's all you can see. The calendar is available from 2010. Now that is Oracle provided ledger. We are not sure whether data is available with the current year or not. That is the reason I'll choose year as a 2018. Expand 2018. Within that we have a 4 quarters. These all quarters are automatically created within the space. This data what you see, it is from space. Now expand quarter 1. Within this quarter 1 we have a 3 periods. John.
Sorry, what is the reason you mentioned that why we are taking 2018 and not 2024?
24 this is not our ledger, right?
Oh, that's it. Okay.
Right. If it is our ledger, yes, we can find the sample data. Even sample data you may find it's less. That is the reason we are using US primary ledger. We are not sure, right? Oracle whether given for latest period or not. They may not.
Okay.
Yeah. But in these periods we have a data. That is the reason I am choosing it. Now I'm selecting John 01, John 02 Feb, March. I'm selecting John. Select one or multiple periods. I'm selecting one period. Now just click on add. Now only one period we selected. If you select more than one period, the placeholder you can select and it will be placing into different columns. Only one we selected, it will take into one column. Now say okay. Later we'll select multiple periods also. First we'll go with one period. Done. Now we provided all the inputs on what base system has to generate the report. Now we'll go and save this report name. Say our ultimate target is we want to create the income statement, or else say like P&L. Okay. So income statement we want to create. We'll give the report name as income statement. So what you can do here is you save this report. Okay, save this report. How to save? Go to file and click on save. Okay, click on save. Go to file, click on save. And here we have one folder which refers the current user. You can save this report only in your user specific folder, or else you can save in the shared folder. Ideally, we save in the shade folder. Expand the shade folder. Expand shade. Within the shade, any report you create, we use the custom folder. There will be one custom folder. Within the custom folder, again, you can create subfolder called as FRS reports. You can save. Okay, here by clicking on this add folder, new folder, you can add into this. You can expand it, you select, you can add it, but not required directly. We are going to save that report in the custom folder. I'm selecting custom folder and I want to save this, the data, whatever you selected as a report definition. I want to say Alt INC income statement. Okay, income statement. Say save. Income statement. Say save. We saved it. So now we saved this report, but there is no name for the report. Just to identify, we saved. Now we will run this report. We'll run this report. Any results are fetching, we can see. How to run? It's very simple. Here we have HTML preview. Click on HTML preview. As per the selection, it will produce the results. If it is not working in one instance, don't worry. In some instances, it doesn't work. Simply switch to other instance, try the same. Now, whatever the instance we are using for a class, it is not working in that instance. That is the reason I am using the different instance. Okay, this instance you have access for practice purpose. Same instance I am using. So click on HTML preview. So this is how we have to select. In some instances, it doesn't produce any results. In that case, we no need to worry about it. Switch to other instance, it will work. Luckily, it is working in this instance. Okay, it is showing those two parent account numbers, parent account codes, and it is showing, so that's something like this is something operational expenditure, this is some other expenses. And 01 John 18 is showing like this. And here it is showing the dimensions also. You can see the dimensions. Ledger is US ledger, right? All the dimensions also you are able to see. Company, these results belongs to only company 101. If you want to change, you can click and you can change here also. Accordingly, data will be filtered. So now we are able to generate the report, but there is no title for the report. We saved the entire definition will be saved as a income statement. But I want to see this data is belongs to what? Income statement, the name I want to see here. Yes, we can set that. How to set name to be displayed within the report inside. Here go to header. Here is the header section. Click on the plus icon to add the report object. So what you want to add, you want to insert the image or you want to provide the text only. Click on text. So here you can give the title. Alt INC income statement. Okay, here you can just format with the kind of bold and italic, and you can underline or else you can apply the colors. Okay, this is all you can do and save it. Once you do any changes, save it. Now, if you run the report, you can see with this title. Alt INC income statement. But what does it mean by this 50000 60000? I want to see the names also. I want to see the names for this. So if you want to see the names, what you have to do is go to this grid. In the grid only we have report. And here, the first account. Okay, first account. You select this account, just directly click on this cell first row cell, account cell. And here you have a headings, member labels. By default, it is selected as a member name. Member name is nothing but account code. If you select alias, it will display account code and description. Select alias and save. Second row, account cell, you select. For that second row account cell also, select as a alias. Alias means it will combine the both. It will display the account and account name also it will display. Save it. Now click on HTML preview. Now you can see the 50000 means material and goods expense. 60000 is operating expenses. We can see. Now my requirement is these are the parents. Inside of these parents there could be sub-parents and child values. I should be able to see those also. I should be able to drill down. I should be able to drill down to the base accounts also. So if you want to see that, what you can do is here you have this first account. Okay, first account. So select it and say allow expansion. Select second one, say allow expansion. Now save. Again click on HTML preview. Now expansion is enabled. Now if I expand this 50000, you can see inside what we have. Again, two sub-parents we have. Expand it. Under this, these accounts we have. Expand it. This is all we are getting from S-base. Under operating expenses, we have many parents. Expand fees. Just wait for a moment. No issues. Close it. Again, you can click on HTML preview. Okay. Expand. Expand. So this is how you can see how to expand. Now, if you notice here, few accounts, it is showing as a missing. For few accounts, it is showing as 0. Means where the criteria is applicable, there are no balances. That is the reason 0. Wherever this criteria, the filtration criteria we selected, not applicable, there it is showing as missing. It may be missing or 0, doesn't matter for us. It should not display in the report. If any figures are there, it should display. Otherwise, it should not display. To expand anything, everywhere you can see. So many accounts, no data is available. Okay, so this missing or 0. Okay, here is missing. Here it is saying 0. This we don't need. If balances are there, it should display. Otherwise, it should not display. So that you can set. Okay, here I'm selecting this entire row. Entire row I'm selecting. I'm not selecting the cell. I'm selecting entire row. Now here we have a suppression. You enable basic options. Say if 0, suppress, remove, don't display. If missing, suppress. If error, suppress means errors ideally you get if you create the formula. We'll create the formula soon. So zeros don't display. If any account reporting zeros, don't display. If it is showing some missing, no data is available with that, no criteria is applicable, suppress. You can set this and save, and select the same for second row, enable basic options and set this and save it. Now click on HTML preview. Now expand. So now you don't see anything with the zeros. If any balances are there, it will display. If no balances, it won't display the zeros missing, etc. Now we selected only one period. If you select one more period, here it will be showing for all the periods. Only one period we selected. And now, so you don't want to expand this by clicking on one by one. Okay, you don't want to expand like this. With one click, you should be able to expand all. Yes, we can do that. In that case, select the entire grid. You select entire grid. Okay, you select entire grid. Here, scroll little down. Enable allow expand all. I'm selecting not specific this cell. Cell level we selected allow expansion. Now I'm selecting entire grid. This entire grid, how to select? Here. Here click. Entire will be selected. Now scroll little down. Here is the one control called as allow expand all. Enable allow expand all and save it. Now run the HTML preview. Now here is the expand all. With one click, everything will be expanded. This is how you can do. Now, for example, here is certain balances. Now I can see like this is the amount, but I don't know this amount is resulted because of which transaction. I want to drill down. I want to drill through specific balances. Yes, that also you can set. We can drill down from Sbase to Oracle database original transactions. So I'm selecting entire grid. Scroll little down. You have a checkbox called as drill through. Enable it and save it. For entire grid level, we are selecting. Now run HTML preview. If you notice, hyperlink is enabled for these figures. Okay, expand. So hyperlink is enabled. I'll say expand all. So for everything, hyperlink is enabled. Now you can click on anything. Just I'm clicking on this amount. It can allow us to drill down. But make sure that this user has access to this ledger. Okay, if ledger, this current user, fin_MPL user has access to ledger called as US primary ledger, then these functions will work. You can go and inquire the balances. You can inspect with that account what balances, or else you can see the details also. Just click on any one you can choose. Detail balances. Anyway, once again, we'll go through those with a separate account inspector function. I'm clicking on drill to detail balances. Just click on drill to detail balances. Click on it. So that amount is resulting because of which transactions it will display. Here it is showing. So because of these transactions. These are the original transactions. And you can do the further drill down also. You can click on this amount. It will take you to the transaction that is related to purchase invoice amount. Okay. So this is journal, right? So only journals data will come to GL. Here, this is a journal which is created. So from here, again, further drill down to your subledger transactions. From journal to subledger also you can go, since it is coming from payables application. So this is how you can establish this drill through functionality also from the space related report balances. So that's how you can enable and you can drill through. Now you want to add another additional periods also. This is John. You want to see the report for Feb and March also. So you can add it. You can go to that report definition. Here we just select this period. Okay, before that we will try to complete few other points. Later we'll touch those. Yeah. Now I want to sum these two rows because 2R belongs to expense only. I want to sum these two rows. To sum these two rows, what we can do is go to third row. There is no number for third row, but there is some space. Select it. Select third row. Right click. Say insert row. Why you are inserting the row? To pull some data or to create the formula, or I'll just give some text. So we are going to create the formula. The formula is sum 1 and 2. So what we are doing is there is a third row. So after this 1 and 2, we want to display total expense. Right click, insert row, select formula. Now, what we want to display here, total expense. You select this cell, place the cursor in this cell and click, and right side, some properties panel is open. There select custom heading. The heading is total expense. And save it. Here I given total expense. How do you get total expense? If you sum 1 and 2, you will get total expense. Now place the cursor in this A column for the row 3. Okay, A3. Place the cursor. When you place the cursor here, since we selected formula, here the formula related operations are available. What you want to do, you want to sum only. What you want to sum? 1 and 2. So place the cursor here. Here we have operations, different sum, subtract, difference. Okay, all we have. Now we are going to sum only. So click on this. By default is sum. Click on this sum tab. The same sum it is taking into this field. Now here we have to list out which rows need to be summed. In the bracket, you have to open the square bracket. What you want to sum? Row 1. Give row 1, close square bracket and comma. Which another row you want to sum? 2 also. Again open square bracket and give 2, close square bracket. So we have to sum 1 and 2 rows that would be displayed for the total expenses. After giving this formula, you should click on this tick mark, then only this formula will be validated. You have to click on this tick mark. Done. Now save it. Now produce the report. Click on HTML preview. You can see total expense. 11,000, 6,000, total 17,000. Rest let it be as this. 11,000, 6,000, total 17,000. So that's how you can sum. Now we'll go and add few revenue accounts also. We'll sum revenue accounts and we will subtract revenue and expense. Revenue minus expense will get the net income. That is an income statement. So we'll go and add few additional accounts related to revenue accounts into this report definition. So here, right click the row 4, go to insert row. Now we want to pull the row for data. Select data. We are not creating formula. And before that, here you can give the title also for this. What you can do is you select this empty row, right click, say, or else not like this. Here select row 1. Select row 1 and go to insert row and select text. It will add one row. So their row name you can give as expenses. That is a title. Save. Now, as per formula, we given 1 and 2 system has to sum, but 1 now it became expense. But system can understand automatically, it can make 2 and 3. See, now it selected 2 and 3 automatically. Since the row name number changed, it can understand. The formula we created sum 1 and 2. Now 1 became title for this. Right? Now if you click on view preview, expense is just title. Expand all. This is just title, under title, all expense accounts. So that's how we have. Now, so what we want to do, we want to add one more row for revenue also. Select fifth one, right click, insert row, select data. It added as a all corporate accounts. Now select this cell, fifth one. We have to select whatever the accounts we require. Okay, you select it, click on account, whatever system defaulted, remove it. Go to account, go to V1 version 1, further expand. Here we can find the revenue accounts in the net income, expand it. I'm selecting this revenue account. Or else expand and you can have multiple, or else directly you can take. Anyway, you'll be able to expand in the report also. Total revenue. I'm selecting that, you select into this and say okay. Okay. For this also, it is defaulting the same, all since it will copy. Now create one as a total revenues. One row only, but still create one as a total revenues. You create one formula. Create formula. Place the cursor in this cell. What you are going to report here, total revenues. Save it. Now here create the formula. Okay. Sum. What we are going to sum? We don't have multiple revenue account rows, only one. Here you can give that one. Square bracket. So where we have a revenue account in 5. You should click on the tick mark, then only this formula will be validated. Otherwise it doesn't work. Click on tick mark. Now for this 5, we have to give the title, like here you give an expense, in the same way here you want to give revenue. So for that, just save it, what are the changes you did. Select row 5, right click, insert row, you have to input the text. What is the text here? revenue is the title. Save it. Now run the preview. Okay. Under expenses, we have two parents and total expense is this much. Under revenues, we have only revenue account, the total revenue also same. This is a parent account. Now we want to subtract revenue minus expense. So ideally, system will display revenue as a negative sign. Because in the accounting, like when you create the transaction, like revenue account will be credited, expense account is debited. So it will show negative sign. That is the reason if both are positive, you can use the function called as subtract. One is positive, one is negative. In that case, you can use sum function also between this expense and revenue. When you try to sum this, it will take the difference. Okay. So you don't need to use the subtract function. Directly you can use the sum. Now I want to create formula for net income, revenue minus expense. So add one more row. So formula. What I'm trying to get in this row, select custom heading. So net income or A minus B or etc. you can give or revenue minus expense and save it and go to A8 cell. Okay, here. So if revenue and expense system is displaying it the positive sign, you have to use a subtract. Okay, you have to use subtract or difference. Okay, from here you can use the difference. You can use it will differentiate. Now one is positive, another one is negative. Still some function also will support. Click on sum. Now what you are trying to sum means, if we are trying to sum means you are trying to find the difference only, because expense positive sign, revenue negative sign. So where we have total expenses in the row 4. Take row 4, comma. Where we have your total revenues, row 7. Row 7. And click on this tick mark. It's very mandatory. Now save it. Save it. Please go on mute.
Wait.
Save it.
One question here.
Okay, question. I'm sorry. Yeah.
So here we are only having one column, which is like one period 0, 1, 18. Let's say if we have one more column 0 to 18, then how we will enter that in the sum? We can't say sum 4
No,
because
for that also you have to do again the same. You have to create that formula. Again, you have to go to B1, place the cursor over there, and you create the same formula.
Oh,
You can copy this. You can copy, go there and paste it.
okay.
Yeah, that's how it is. We'll see. I'll add 2 more columns also. Yeah, with other periods. Done. Save it. Now click on HTML preview. Now you can see a revenue is 20,000 and the total expense is 17,000. The variance is 3,000. It is showing negative, revenue is negative here. That means that is the profit surplus. You can expand. Okay. All your revenues also you can see here. For this revenue, we didn't apply like expand. That is the reason it is not showing expand. If you enable expand, it will show expand. Your revenues here we have. Select this, say allow expansion. Then you will be able to see all the revenue accounts also. Now run HTML preview. Expand all.
Can we export this one to Excel, Lakshmi?
Yeah, we will come to that point. Okay. Next, we are preparing, right?
Okay, got it.
Once preparation is done, we'll talk about it. We can do that. You don't need to come to here every time also. Only preparation you have to do from here. As a business user, we'll be running these reports from other space. Yeah, we'll see. Done. Now I want to add few more columns also. I want to see the report for Feb, March also. So select this cell. So click on accounting period. We have only John. I want to add few more periods. Since we are using 18, go to 18. I want to add this two. Add it. And these three need to be placed as a three columns. Now select checkbox called as place selections into separate columns. And say OK. Okay. Done. So it added again like 1, 2, so duplicated. You can remove this. No worries. You can select that column and delete. And just you delete this also delete. Somehow it got duplicated. So Jan, Feb, and March. Done. Now save it. Now see here the net income formula where it is applicable. For Jan it is not available. For Feb it is not available. For March it is available. It is just system is moved automatically to March. Now if you want formula for these also, copy and paste. You go here, you copy and do paste to this also. Here also. In the same way, total expense also. For John you don't see now. Feb also you don't see. It is taking for March. Automatically it is taking to March. This you can copy for these two also, so that for these two columns also you'll be able to see total expense, total revenues. Now no total revenue for Jan and Feb. It is whatever you prepared, it is taken to latest period, that is March. It took. Yeah. Those you can just update. You can copy and paste for here also, it same will be applicable. Now save it. Run the HTML preview. So expand out. So this is how the report will be displayed. Now you want to beautify this report with some colors, etc., font styles, that we can do. Now here I want to just apply the color for this column. Okay, I want to apply the color for this column. So what I can do is here go to format. Okay, format cell and select. Already I selected one column, right? I'll go here. Okay, so some alignment I can go like the font I can go, and I can change the font size also within the report, and font style we can change, and font also you can change, and the color. This is the font color. This is the font color. The font color I want something this color. So red. I need the font color. And here go to borders and shades, and shade what shade you want to give for selected column. I want to give yellow color and say okay. Now you can see so this in the respective color, and this I want to apply different color. Select column, go to format cell, go to shades. Here I want to give different color. I want to give this color. Say okay. For this column, I want to give different color. Cell. I want to give this color. Now save it. And run the print preview. expand. So this is how you can generate the report. Here, if you want to add the logo also, you can add it. Okay, if you want to add the logo, here go to header section. So just click on the plus icon, select as image. Okay, click on image. It will allow it will open the option as a browse. You can add it. Okay, just it will, ideally it has to display like browse option, and you will be able to add it. Again, just it will allow like kind of browse and all. You will be able to browse it. Okay. Just let it be. Okay, go to grid. So that's how you can add any just image kind of information also. Now, so here we have a dimension layout. So from here only we selected these rows here, columns here. So just go back to dimension layout. So in the row we selected account, column we selected. In the page level you want to select something else. Yes, you can select here. You can go company, you may select into page. Say okay. Now here the page will come as a filter. Here no more you see here page as one of the dimension. I mean company as a dimension. Now what we have to do is we have to click on this page. So page related value dimension company. Then here you can select the companies for which companies and all filter you want to enable. Remove this. Expand. Expand. I want to select this two. Select. Now say okay. This report I can filter with those companies. Now save it. Okay, I think error with this images. You want to delete the report object that might be linked to other report object. Okay. It has to give browse option so that it will be fine, but it's not functioning here. It's not functioning. Just 1 second. Ideally, that task to it is not functioning properly. Otherwise, we will get a browse option and we will be able to select that image. Save this. Just gone mad. Fine. So fine. Once you give over there, when you run the report, okay, it will give you the option to filter with the company 1 and 2 values like this. You select two, only two related data only you can see. That's how the page option you can use. Now, once you create the report like this, you no need to run this report from this page. As a consultant, we create the report from here. But as a business user, they no need to come to this page. They can run the report from other page. Here, from where they can run. So go to the initial navigation, others, and financial reporting center. Here, go to all. The report should be available here. You search with the name what we given, Alt INC. It would come, it will get synchronized and it will come. Ideally, the report will come here. We create it as a Alt INC income statement. The report will come. Whatever the report you prepared in that FRS studio, those reports would be available here. So you can find that report. Okay. So these are also all created in that same FRS also. So let's see income statement. It will come. Now what you can do is you can click on this report. Ours, it may take some time to get synchronized. Ideally, that has to fetch, that has to be displayed here. You can open the report here. Okay. So the same like here, all the dimensions, you can change the dimensions. In that, this is the name they given and the logo also added. Even we tried to add logo, it was not working. So here you can export into required format, export to Excel. Okay. So this is how you can just select export to Excel, export to Word, PDF preview. This is all you can do. This is your end user view. So even our report should come here. Just what we'll do is we'll log out and log in and we'll check. Sometimes it takes time to synchronize from that environment to this page.
So Lakshman, once we create the report and business users have the access, then is there any option for business users to sort of add or remove the dimensions in order to modify the report?
No, 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 no. Only they can change how they want to see the data. That's all. Okay. They can
Okay.
change,
And
they can value, they can change. No dimensions, adding, changing, what should be in the row, column. This is all they cannot.
okay. And let's say we have only created this for January, February, and March. So can they see it for different period?
See, like here, they can click on that dimension and they can change the values here. Values, up to values, they can change. So in that case, what you can do is, if you want to allow them to see for enter to any period, you can set the prompt in that scenario. I'll just show you that option.
Okay.
Yeah, here
That will
search
be-
for Alt IRC. Not fetching. Ideally, the report will come here because we added logo, etc. Maybe it went wrong, right? That could be the reason. So here, you go back to the same open workspace. Now we given the constant periods, right? We given Jan, Feb, March. If business users want to run for any period, what you can do is set as a prompt, feed as a prompt. Go to report, launch, financial reporting, web studio. You have to reopen that report. Go to shared folders. In the shade, go to custom. And the custom folder, we have that report. scroll little down. We saved our report in the custom folder. What happened to this report?
Lakshman, not on my folders, right? Under saved folders, custom
The
you
shade only. You're trying in the shade only, right?
Okay.
Directly you saved in the custom. You didn't select anything like finance, etc. Directly you saved.
Do we have to further expand the customs folder?
No, like we directly saved in the custom, right? In custom, we didn't save in the specific subfolder. Selected custom and we saved.
Is there any search option here?
No search option. We don't have anything here. What happened? Where it went? We didn't save in the this, right? I don't think so. We saved in our user. No, we didn't save in our user. We saved, it is not showing. Okay. No issues, just I'll show you that option. I think here it is failed to save. Maybe that is the reason it is not coming there also immediately. Now quickly you can just go to new report. Say insert grid. Already we have connection, right? The same you can use. Say okay. Now accounting period account. Say okay. If you want to allow the business user to choose that period, what you can do is here go to accounting period. This you select. This remove first. Here you have a prompt for accounting period. You select. Now, whenever user is going to run the report, it will prompt user. It will prompt user to select the accounting period. User will select accounting period. Accordingly, report will be submitted. That's it. Yep. This is the option you can use. So this is what you have to understand how to how to prepare the reports. All like you have to select and you have to create the form and you can arrange how you require the naming conventions, etc. Whether you want to use a drill down or you want to expand, etc. All you can do. Any accounts you can pull there. Maybe like related to your like income statement or a balance sheet, like your assets, liabilities, or ownership account relate accounts, anything you can just select and you can create the formulas. That's how you can generate the report with that. Okay, in tomorrow's session we'll see the concept called as smart view. It is similar and but it is a spreadsheet. What are the reports you create in the FRS? Those reports you can open in the spreadsheet also. Smart view means spreadsheet functionality. You can conduct some sort of analysis kind of reports also you can prepare, but it is just spreadsheet limited functionality. It's more powerful functionality where you will have all the options to prepare. We'll go through in the tomorrow session with the smart. Won't take much time. We'll go through. Then we'll pick other topics like expense tax, and we'll try to close that in the tomorrow session. Okay. So
Next
done for today. If you have any questions, you can stay back.
Next one, fusion tax.
Fusion tax and
Yeah,
intercompany
tax
venue.
also. That's what tax and expense. We'll see tomorrow.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll do that. Fine.